I'm a big fan.
Or
No,
no, empty calories, right?
just like the headaches.
Pardon me?
I like the headaches.
No thanks. I have
The
no
recovery time gets
6
longer
years.
and longer too. It's hard to.
I like it. Never did. Maybe when I was in college and I bartended, it kind of turned me off.
Yeah.
Who what? Oh, you were a bartender.
As I
You
said,
get to watch everybody else.
I
and
said,
then turn off.
door, bouncer stuff, and then I'll work the bar, and you're over that well, you smell the liquor the whole
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, yeah.
After a while, it gets disgusting. And you watch people go sloppy.
Hey, when I leave the restaurant between prime rib and filet mignon and lobster and liquor and beer and all that, when I leave, I'll grab a nachos on the way home.
Hello.
I mean, I'm sick of everything.
Hello, this is the mayor of the airwaves. How you doing? Another beautiful day in paradise. Good morning, Chuck Cannon.
Morning.
All right, so we have Chris
How you doing?
Gurney in here. Good morning, Chris Gurney.
Good morning, Rhett. How are you?
And Mackenzie Flincham.
Morning. Yes.
Almost bought a house from your dad years ago. So great to have you in here now. Chris owns and operates Ocean Drive Elite Physiques. And that essentially is a what?
It's a private health center focusing on privatized nutrition, personalized training, exercise and fitness.
And now you've taken. I know you're a new face over there, right, Mackenzie?
Yes, that's correct.
And what do you do?
I'm a registered dietitian, so I help the nutrition part
A
of it.
registered dietitian. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about food. So, Chris, first of all, how did you get into this business?
Growing up, like lots of young guys, I played sports all my life, and through the course of it, after leaving New York, moving to Florida, where everything became much more outdoors, pretty much every day.
Are you from where, Long Island?
Actually, Bronx.
Bronx.
Good old Bronx.
Hey.
Yankee fan, of course. So after high school, before high school ended, my folks bought a house down here and graduated. Figured school would present itself to do college in Florida, be great. And somewhere along the line, I found bodybuilding as a fun little parlay from baseball, and did that for a number of years until I realized that nutrition or different way of eating was going to increase my physique and my size, and misinterpreted some advice on eating good amounts of protein to get bigger, and then just misconstrued things and had proportions and carbohydrates, and became very bad hypoglycemic.
Because and that's why you're so up on it now.
Yeah, very much so.
When everybody tells you, sort of associate your name with good food habits.
Correct.
Now, there's a lot of famous people now come over that place. It's pretty amazing.
I try to keep them under, yeah.
I've been known to stop
Indiscreet, yes,
I mean,
of course.
#1 New York Times bestsellers, world famous champions. And that's really cool. I mean, I don't know. We're supposed to talk about that other thing that you're doing now, or do you want to talk about it some other time?
We can maybe touch on it later on.
Yeah, touch on that later on. Okay, but it is amazing. How did this all come about that you cultivated this huge following, and it's like you're the what is it? The consultant to the stars now.
I think nothing happens by mistake or coincidence, and I think just my path has put me around the best people in the industry, in the business.
I guess so.
And
amazing.
you find that when, as a client of mine, I've been here 17 years now, blessed that, and a client told me years ago, when the teacher is ready, students will come. So I feel that through the course of where I've taken and my knowledge has been cultivated. I've had, through my baseball background, I've had some known professional athletes come my way, that have become what I was aspiring to be as a pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Boxing athletes and football, and I've kind of gotten the spectrum with it.
And you have a famous picture that
Alex Cox from Vero Beach, yeah.
I can't believe it. I'm over there seeing the Rays.
Yeah.
And he's from Vero Beach.
Right out of high
signed
school.
A new contract for millions of dollars a year. He's what? How old? 22?
I think the mid-20s, yeah.
Mid-20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you trained him, right?
Yeah, right. At the year he was drafted to Tampa, his dad came over and we through a mutual client and said, "I want you to guide my son and get him."
What does the dad do?
I think he works. I'm not from Liberty to say, but I know he works at a local company in town.
Well, what I want to know is, so how it's. I wonder how that changes somebody. I really want to meet that guy. I mean, a pitcher.
Yeah.
And you said you wanted to be a pitcher. That's got to take enormous discipline. I love baseball. I go to all these games. I look at these guys going, what is it like to be a professional athlete.
You know, the thing I saw with Alex, because I was with him from single A and and instructional league all the way through until he made up to the bigs, and every year he would notice that the better conditioned he became, the longer he would make it through his schedule. That he would be able to feel fresher longer, the more he would adhere to the good training, and actually, and a lot of it is nutritional and the recovery, which is what food really helps you with.
So when it comes to weight loss, for instance, somebody that works with you, I lost 30 pounds. I have to say, it was great to exercise, but is it right that only about 20% of that weight loss was because of the exercise program? The 80% was because, of the change of diet?
It's true. I think it's much easier for someone to maybe think, okay, I'm going to go work on a workout. I think it's the harder percent mentally to get your head around the whole nutritional concept, because we're so diluted with everything else we see. Everything on TV is quick loss, pills, manufacture this.
There's a lot of money in this, right?
There's a ton of money.
You want to be an instant millionaire, come up with a new diet.
If it was easy, we all walk around, perfect.
Yeah.
But we're not.
But what's weird is every time I come over there, you're eating.
That's right.
I swear, every time. Now, tell us about that.
As I tell people as they get in better shape, when you get your body moving and the mechanism moving, it's all about movement and getting your body to burn. The better your body becomes, it's like having your car very well tuned. The better the mechanism becomes, the more you can fuel it, and it's really simple that way. It's an easy concept to say, but once you start, and again, it's the programming of yourself to get used to doing that.
What amazes me is I always thought I was going to have to go hungry. Matter of fact, I swear to God, I dreamt last night. I think I was dreaming last night that I was on, what's the stuff where they deliver the food to your house? And the famous Osmond girl.
Marie Osmond, Jenny Craig, or one of those.
Not Jenny Craig, the other one. They say Jenny Craig.
Nutrisystem.
Yeah, Nutrisystem. I did that. I lost 16 pounds in 16 days once, but it also included walking the bridge. But that food tastes like Dinty Moore beef in a can. It's like, or cardboard meter. Whoa, no.
But the thing I always say, and Mackenzie will vouch for it too, is, I think with stuff that's the prepackaged and things that are kind of too isolated in what you're doing, can you do it forever is really it. So I think for myself, and what we try to accomplish as a good coach, is what can you do now that you can envision yourself doing for a lifetime?
Yeah, well, what amazes me is I thought I was going to have to go hungry. And I found that there were alternatives. That you can eat, you have to eat so many nuts for the brain, right? You have to eat, what's the stuff why the nuts in the brain, by the way?
Well, the certain, every food is purposeful, and the restriction of fats. I mean, there are certain things or hormones your body releases with certain intake of food. So everything has a purpose for it. So I think it's unrealistic. Everything needs to be cut out. My key word we preach is balance. There isn't a net balance to where you start from.
Even so you don't deny your body anything.
Nothing, no. But
what do you do when you want to have a donut? You have it.
Well, if you would have had a camera with me yesterday, you would have seen that I eat like everybody else does. So you know what? I was asked years ago, had done something informative, and it was around holidays, around Christmas, and I said, Chris, what do you recommend to do to be fat-free for the holidays? I said, absolutely zero. Yeah. I said, you can account for maybe 6 holidays throughout the year, and you can bookend it with another couple of days in between, or pre and post.
I'm going to pat myself on the back.
Yes, sir.
Somebody that works with you actually was consulting me, of course, and when I started a year ago, I actually lost 7 pounds I started right before Thanksgiving, and at the first of the year, I lost 7 pounds, and she said, "That's amazing. You lost 7 pounds when most people gain 7 to 10 pounds." So I really was resolute initially.
Probably gained double. But you never shut yourself up from holidays, because you can give yourself 20 days throughout the year of splurging. You have 240, 345 to be good.
Now, I remember one time I was trying to lose weight and I was low carb. And I remember my mom was still alive, and I went out west of town. I visited my mom, and she had a bag of Lay's potato chips. I hadn't, I was just no carbs. And I took one of those potato chips, and it was better than sex on my tongue. I mean, it was awesome. But it gave me an unflavorful obsession with potato chips for a while. And I realized never again will I do that. If I really want something, have it. Or what I'll do is I'll say, okay, you want a big bowl of spaghetti? You can have anything you want, but have your shake first, your protein shake. And then if you still want, it's like playing a game with myself. And then I find out after I have the shake, I don't really want that,
A lot of people I've seen that diet the diet almost becomes a punishment, and then they seem to regret having to do it, and then they try to cheat on the diet because and I'm not, I don't know your whole philosophy yet, but I remember a doctor saying to me one time when we were talking about healthier eating, we really weren't talking weight loss, but he said a lot of if you're 50 years old, Chuck, you've eaten these things for 50 years. Be realistic about the fact that you think, because I'll get myself hyped up and say, well, as of tomorrow, no more of this. And he said, today you can say it, but realistically, you're going to be able to do that? And the answer is no, because different things change. So his advice to me was to basically, and it sounds like what you're saying is a lifestyle change where you start educating yourself on what you can eat, and maybe there's certain things to me now that aren't even any good that I used to eat by the bag load.
Yeah.
Not because they're still not good, but I'm not used to eating them anymore.
Yeah, well, you lost 20 pounds just by ceasing to drink milk in 1 month.
Whole milk, yeah.
Whole milk.
Yeah.
He was addicted to like whole milk. Like,
and that wasn't a weight loss problem. That was a cholesterol problem that I just tried to.
So it's pretty amazing. Yeah. So really, a lot of what you do over at Ocean Drive Elite Physiques, it is the diet's number one. Would you say that? Would you agree?
I would say so. You know, it's probably, like I said before, with the mental aspect of it. When people come in and openly admit to us that, you know, I want to get in shape, I want to be better, it is right from then that it's the psychological transfer of trusting us to listen. And that's a lot of it. Is I have a lot of people that will sit there timid. They will come in from that have the need for certain surgeries to get themselves to reduce. And you know that they're scared to sit there. And they don't want to hear that of course they hear that they need to lose weight. That's why they're there, and they have to do something very evasive. But to mentally have them trust you and to relax them and then to have them feel comfortable, I always say it's 100% mental.
Now you're talking about that stuff that they like Dr. Domkowski does, that thing where they
do bariatric surgeries, even people that want to have even tummy tucks and things like that.
Isn't there one thing bad about that? I've known about 10 people have done that, and about 8 of them are back being obese again. Because there's one thing.
But what is it though? The mental doesn't change.
You're paying someone else to do the discipline, and you can't do that. You got to go. It's
But if they go back to eating, unhealthy and fat food right after, after you had that surgery or that procedure, you're defeating. You're asking for the overnight pill almost, And
I think when most folks do that, they're putting themselves in such a danger that's the extreme end. That now that they cinch up their stomach and put a rubber band around it, and your stomach is the size of a thimble. If we eat more, you're going to wind up dying. It has to be so, stranglehold about it. And I always joke to say, I guarantee if you took 2 people and you poked holes in both of them and told them both you had the surgery done, that mentally, if they believed it, the same result would happen. Because it's psych. It's all psychology.
Okay, we got a lot to learn. Okay. I wish he could spend like 4 hours with us, but I'd like to have him back again. But he's here today. We are going to return with him. Ocean Drive Elite Physiques. He's the owner. He's Chris Gurney. Dr. Mallon goes over. I mean, this guy, like you've been his hero for I don't know how many years. He's been telling me to get over there for years and years and years.
He's been there. I say that he's been there 12 years.
He's that svelte dark-haired guy. When he's walking on the beach, I mean, every girl, no matter who's in my car, Barbara, everybody, there's like, who's that? Oh, well, that's Bill. Bill Dr. Mallon. I mean, that guy, he's a good-looking dude.
He's a specimen. He's my best business card, Dr. Mallon.
He really is. Okay, when we turn it over, Beverly, you have a question. What's the question going to be so we can tease the people that are listening? You have to come up close to the microphone. You're on the air.
Okay, I have a question for Mackenzie. She's a dietitian. People have said, eat like a bird, eat many foods during the day. Is that true?
Okay, hold on. Let her answer when we come back. That's called a tease in this industry. Okay. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Dr. Mallon, Dr. Schnell, Dr. Katz, Dr. Kadadade, and Dr. Brannigan, Center for Advanced Eye Care. 5 eye doctors that genuinely care about your eye care. When my mom was alive, where did I bring her? I brought her to Center for Advanced Eye Care. If you're my good friend, I'm going to tell you to go to Center for Advanced Eye Care. I know my uncle in town here went somewhere else and had a disaster. I have 8 friends that had a disaster elsewhere in this town. Dr. Mallon, no disasters. You're my friend. That's where you go. You're my listener. Center for Advanced Eye Care. Also, today's broadcast is brought to you by C.J. Cannon's, the restaurant with a beautiful panoramic view. And we've got Chuck in here today. Yep. Tell him we'll be right back, Chuck.
We'll be right back, Chuck.
So I hope you guys feel comfortable.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Has your lifestyle of being in this business affected your parents?
That's a good question on air.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then what was your question to Mackenzie?
I want to know about eating like a bird.
Okay.
Eating lots of,
And then what does
throughout
that mean, eating like a bird?
Well, eat little bits of food throughout the day instead
Okay.
of sitting.
That's really what, Chris, you do.
Mhm.
So that'd be a great question for Mackenzie.
Yes,
How
absolutely.
about include her?
And then you can jump in when you want. Now, if there's any subject you want to
Continues
broach,
be on
just
the
tell me.
focus, but-
This will be a
Next hour.
short, this will be a shorter segment. But we're also on still, remember? I keep forgetting we're on there.
Oh,
I went down the other night, we went to visit Barbara's son down in Stewart. And so I said, if we got done, we're walking around Stewart, cute little town. You been down there? So I put this thing on to go live on Facebook. I had 25 viewers in like 4 minutes. And I got all kinds of feedback, and it's surprising.
He's having more fun with
I
that.
tell you what, the social media game is unbelievable. It's a whole different world.
I got let's see, the Riverside Theater now pays me for my posts. Of course, I got about 9,000 followers. I got 5,000 on one site. I got all this other, but what is it? The Emerson Center, the new Chow. Do you hear about the new Chow place? Go Chow, Chow Go,
Yeah, something.
Chow, whatever.
Delivery service.
You know, he's doing well.
Is it good?
Yeah, you might consider that. The only thing is he takes a considerable chunk, but he says, but I don't cost the restaurant anything. He's delivering multiple thousands of dollars to different restaurants down south.
Right.
I met him. You would like him. He's a good family man. He has an autistic child that's 18, still at home. He's about 38, 40. He works very hard. I was really impressed with him. They're already succeeding. Amazing. Well, a lot of people try to have a delivery service. What do you think about this new, what's that new one now that delivers your groceries?
Yeah, that's actually.
It's $100. Is it a year? I think it is.
Yeah, I've heard people that done it. They even got it. It's only like 75 that they did it. They got something like a discount for it. It's amazing.
Yeah, wish I'd opened that up.
Delivery is unbelievable. I mean, and you probably thank Amazon for any locals that can tag on to delivery.
It's fun to get stuff at your door,
Well,
though.
and I never bought into it because I always thought I had to physically pick it up myself or else I wouldn't be happy with it. But Amazon is at my door, or UPS at my door daily. And now I've gotten to where I get groceries delivered from them, but I've also looked into local because we're just so busy. We just don't have time to push a cart around.
Will you remind me that I gotta buy a new intercom after the show today? I was supposed to go Friday, and now we're sitting here with it only works one way now. We gotta get it replaced.
Okay, that's important. Okay.
I can communicate to him, but he can't communicate to me. Okay, 30 seconds? Okay. All right, we're gonna go live now on Facebook too. 3, 2, 1. Live from Studio 95. This is Rhett Palmer. How you doing? We have Chuck Cannon in here.
Hey, how you doing?
Chris Gurney.
What's up, Rhett?
And we have Mackenzie Phillips. No, not Mackenzie Phillips. She's Mackenzie.
Lynchum.
Nice to see you. Of course, Beverly's here. I'm Rhett Palmer, the mayor of the Airways. Another beautiful day in paradise. Chris Gurney, of course, is the owner of Ocean Drive Elite Physiques. And Dr. Mallon has been singing his praises for years, and that's why I've ended up going over there. They will help you get in shape and lose weight, but we know that a lot of it is diet. And Beverly, you had a question for Mackenzie, who is a dietitian.
All right, Mackenzie, I was just wondering about the theory of eating like a bird, eating lots of little bits of food throughout the day. Does that work?
Well, it really depends on the person and their lifestyle and what works best for you. At the end of the day, it really does come down to calories, whatever you put in versus what you burn. However, if you just kind of save up and eat all at once, it's not really going to fuel your body properly. Food is meant to be used as fuel for our bodies. It provides us energy. So eating small, frequent meals throughout the day usually helps provide that constant energy for people rather than kind of saving up and setting yourself up for failure later in the day and maybe overeating or something like that.
I've noticed that about you, Chris. Every time I come over to Elite Physiques,
I am always eating.
You got a bowl of something. But what's in the bowl? That's
the mystery.
You
That's
cannot
the
leave
mystery.
today because I've been
No.
wanting to pick your brain forever.
I know it. When you start like us, I mean, I'm up at 4 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
I'm one of these crazy 4 or 5 hour sleeper guys, but I work until 7 o'clock every day.
No, wait, you only sleep 4 or 5 hours a day?
And that's true. That's a true story.
Are you like really high IQ? I find a really super high IQ people need less sleep.
You know
I
what?
need 8. So I don't know what that says about me.
Oh, we
I
all
don't know about the
think
high
we know what
IQ,
that
but
What'd you say?
I don't know about the high IQ, but maybe
4 hours.
yeah. When I sleep, I'm in a coma. But
Oh, so it's profoundly deep sleep.
profoundly deep sleep. All the good thoughts happen at nighttime like that.
We got to
But
get you over here with Dr. Sue and we can do a test on that, you know?
but for me, it's like Mackenzie's saying. I mean, I need to eat balanced meals, carbs, protein, everything balanced.
Mhm.
Every 3 to 4 hours, which is in physiology. I didn't make that number up. And as long as you're eating those good proportion meals, it's like a coal locomotive. Keep putting the coal in, keep your body burning. And I always say you connect your meals together. And as long as you keep bridging those time frames and continue, your energy level stays up.
Mhm.
The moment you miss and you let in a long period of time go by, 4, 5, 6 hours, you're bypassing that need to get the fuel in, and your metabolism slows down, you get tired, and then you start to almost reverse it.
Also, like Lori taught me, your gal Lori, she said, if you don't have that afternoon shake, she said, you're going to cheat. And I've noticed that. If you take that, and have that shake somewhere between 2 and 4 o'clock every day, or 2 and 4:30. And she's right.
Yeah,
then you don't cheat. Otherwise, you get real hungry. You go, wow, there's some Butterfingers there in the drawer. Let's get them out.
Well, that's what, like Mackenzie was saying about setting yourself up for failure. Everyone was always taught the 3 basic, your breakfast, your lunch, and then your dinner.
Mhm.
But it's that mid-afternoon, like Lori's saying, like you've experienced, that becomes because that becomes a 5, 6 hour gap. And when you let that gap happen, your metabolism from that point actually will drop and slow down and drop off. You have to connect it. You got to bridge it.
So there's a way to get that metabolism
And
going.
for a lot of folks that we've seen, it's as simple as that, really.
All right, we got to take another break.
Sure.
We're talking with Chris Gurney and Mackenzie Flincham, and he is the owner of Ocean Drive Elite Physiques, and you work side by side with the doctor over there.
Dr. Alan Durkin, yes.
Yeah, and that's quite a setup.
Which is now expanded, which we can go into after. A expanded service, which is going to be it's exciting. What our capabilities are now.
On top of the agenda, I will tell you this: I'm not allowed to tell some of the names I've seen. I told you about Dr. Mallon, but there's a lot of very, famous, even world class, athletes. I'm standing there with some of these people have walked into history. I'm going, oh my God, you get to work with these people every day. It's just so cool over at Elite Physiques. Okay, this is the mayor of the airwaves. Who loves you, baby? Okay, now we're going to be off for like 6 minutes. So you need to go to the men's room or anything, or want to stand up. Except, of course, we're still on here.
Got it on YouTube.
Too bad. This is the boring part.
I might use the restroom, actually. You said
Sure.
some time.
Sure. Do you want to show her where that is, Beverly? Thank you.
Mhm.
So usually when I point to that glass door in the back, they're like, you mean you're telling me to go out by the river?
At one point you had to, right?
So, Mr. Cannon, how are you?
Good.
It's all good stuff.
I'm relaxing after the busy. It's been such a busy month. And I hate to complain about business, but I'm really ready to just kind of slow down a little bit.
Well, it's after Easter. Today's
Yeah,
the big
we've-
exodus starts today.
We've said
Is that
goodbye
right?
to a lot of
A
people.
lot of private jets are taking off this morning.
Well, actually, the super wealthy, I think they stay a lot longer, and a lot of them come here in the summer.
Yeah.
But of course, they can if you get your private jet or whatever.
It used to be now, some years ago, but now, like mid-May, I'm seeing people kind of almost hang out.
When I was younger, my brother, my 20s, my brother lived in Key West. And in Key West, there always was a lull. Come August and September, a big lull. There's no lull there anymore. And someday there will be no lull here. Look at it's just amazing. Look at the Tides restaurant. They're doing good year round over on the beach. They used to be a desolate ghost town. But Vero has become a destination for other Floridians now.
Yeah. It's not truly as seasonal as it used to be, but like I said, it's more destination
Mhm.
that people kind of venture up,
It's the right
Hamptons of Florida.
community.
Pardon me?
The Hamptons of Florida.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it really is.
That's
As long as
amazing.
we keep
I
it
don't
that
want to
way.
ask this question on air, but
Sure.
the psychological factor, that plays such an important
I'll
part.
tell you what, I'm glad in college I took, some psychology classes, because It's really nothing you can teach. I think it's just your persona. I mean, you're made for this. I mean, you're charismatic. I mean, your engaging personality. People are designed, and even Mackenzie falling into this too. There are certain personalities that work to do this type of stuff. You know what? If you don't have a counseling nature and an understanding for personalities, and to not be aggressive with them and not be kind of, it's every single
Because if
person
you
is
push
exactly.
me too hard, I'm going to go, screw you, I'm out of here.
Every person is so individually different.
Yeah.
And like I had a gal who came in, and she's actually she went to go see Dr. Durkin for a tummy tuck. And believe it or not, there's actually a body fat limit where you have to be under to even qualify. So just because people are heavy doesn't mean, okay, yes, you can go in there and get knifed on, and then.
Wow.
So these people coming in that are in a way denied at this point.
But that's good, because they have to cultivate a discipline.
Well, that's right. So imagine them sitting there knowing that they can't even have their surgery done, and we sat with a gal last week that knows how to talk to her and make her understand that, well, we're not even telling her she needs to lose weight yet. So she's in my office. We both met with her. I have to talk to her and get her comfortable and to be happy with us and me, without me even saying, okay, now let's talk about what we know we need to lose weight. Without coming on saying that, and having her almost admit to me what we need to do, and so it is completely.
That's accepting. That's good.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to happen in 20 minutes. I mean,
yeah.
So even though they're coming from a purpose, then now they're sitting in front of me knowing that I can't even have that done yet, which is saying, well, I must be really fat.
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel? So you have to understand all that first,
Mm-hmm.
and now not directly talk about what they're there for, and get a feel for them and let them almost kind of commit and then be
really
okay with it and everything else.
Look at me, you see me? When I was 29 to 35, I was so thin, I was gone. I've had girls say, I wouldn't have gone out with you back then. I mean, I was, I had to drink milkshakes to try to gain weight.
Yeah.
I want to know what happened.
Success.
Well, that is partially it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lifestyle, money.
Well, I tell you, how many people I've known whose spouses, either way, could be the male or the female, have more money than they can even know what to do with. Can have everybody paid to do what they need to do, even wipe their butt off the toilet.
Go exercise for me.
And they're huge people.
That
of all the ways they excel in life,
mm-hmm.
exponentially, even financially.
You know why? It's comfort.
That
when Barbara was in the hospital with cancer last year,
I mean, it's amazing to me. I can't believe that you can be so phenomenal in one part of your life, mm-hmm. and then be so pitiful in another one. Yeah. Especially when it's too personal.
Yeah.
And maybe it's business, doing this, and you travel and the stuff, and you live in the high, like you said, success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
well, sometimes I found the busier I am, the worse I eat, because I just want to get full.
It's convenience, or it's just kind of just throwing it in, or
that's exactly what it is for me.
I had that turned around the whole time those people have been listening.
I read the
water bottle.
Label.
Damn, man, he just wants to eat anything. We gotta drink water.
Can you see yourself in there?
Okay.
Can you? Yeah. There.
Oh no, it isn't. Yeah.
Oh, you got it right. I did have it right.
Okay. Right.
Now I was showing them the bottle.
You're smarter than
hey, this is the mayor of the Airways. Good morning, Sparky. How you doing back there? I know we're not on you. Oh, the American Life of Chuck. Listen to this.
Yeah.
I think I'm plugged in.
It's plugged in, isn't it? Oh.
That's right there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nothing in my headset.
Cool.
And now for the continuing saga of how you too can lose weight and feel great. We're talking this morning, of course. Good morning, Chuck Cannon.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Me too.
And he is the owner of CJ Cannon's, a restaurant with a beautiful panoramic view for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yes.
CJ Cannon's, a dangerous place for folks we're talking about today, because they have the best eggs Benedict you ever had. But I have a solution. You really want it? Get a half an order. And it's fine. I don't know if Chris Gurney would agree with that, but he's being nice on the
portion control. Portion control.
Ocean Drive Elite Physiques, the rich, the famous, and those who want to lose weight. Mackenzie, of course, I almost say Mackenzie Phillips every time I say her name. Mackenzie Flincham is in here, and she's a dietitian. Good morning, Mackenzie.
Good morning.
Chris.
Sir.
The conversation runs so fluidly when we're breaking. You come back and you're looking at me like a frog in a brainstorm.
Is it post Easter hangover? Or is it just no?
Yeah, really. Were you bad? Yes, we all.
Of course, I was bad.
We're all bad.
You know, that's what makes it real. I think we were just talking before about we were talking about things before, but it's the reality of, you know, there's no food that needs to be gone forever, because there's treats we like. I mean, that's just, you come around this, you know, this planet once, so you want to enjoy, but it's making your mind of what you want to be. If you're complaining about wanting to lose weight, do you really want to? If you want to, you can do it. And of course, having the right game plan, that's what Mackenzie and I try to help people with day to day. With it's constant coaching of it, and the mental reconditioning of it.
Why are we so overweight? Is it because in the stressful world we go home? I remember when Barbara had cancer
Watch
2 years
TV.
ago. I go home.
Watch every commercial about what you can get for 99 cents.
Oh,
I mean,
my word!
It's convenience. It's laziness.
Fried foods. I was comforting myself with ice cream when she was in the hospital for the cancer. I mean, I have 3 bowls of ice cream. It got insane, but that was my place of peace. You know, it's just like, oh my gosh. But
and you know, and ice cream doesn't have to be gone forever either. It just depends of what your goals. What do you want for yourself? What do you want to lose or gain? And know that, you know, you call it a reward, but you don't want to eat and then, you know, punish yourself with exercise. That becomes compulsion. You don't want that either.
So how ongoing is your whole system? In other words, somebody says, I'm 40 pounds overweight. I need to lose 40 pounds. I need to get on the right kind of diet. I need to get on track. I need to do all this stuff. And you guys recommend what she or he needs to do.
Right.
Then they do it. They accomplish that. They've lost 40 pounds. They've changed their diet. They live more healthy. Is it an ongoing program? Do people need that, or do you cut them loose and say you're a success now, go into the world?
I mean,
or
it
each
is
person different.
You know, it is give them that you know, the accolades going through it. But the initial program I always set up for at least a 6-month program, because I think in that time frame you can make wonderful progress. But more of it than anything is you're mentally getting that reconditioning. You're educating them, which is what we're trying to do, is educate.
Right.
So, you know, in that time frame, it becomes a lifestyle change.
Right. So
it is ongoing, and once you make that imprint within 6 months, I always tell people my enjoyment really is after we've been sitting there educating them for the first month or so. The next 3 to 4 that goes down, I enjoy sitting back and having them regurgitate to me everything they're doing.
Right.
Then I sit back and say, you got it.
I don't know if regurgitate is a good word to use.
You like that? You like that?
Bring up that food, right?
Back in Roman days, right?
So what is the balance? People are listening, and some people can afford to come in and see you at Ocean Drive Elite Physiques, but some can't, or some it just isn't going to fit into their life. But how much? I mean, how much protein? Like, for instance, I'm sitting here. I've had no breakfast. I've had this little cup of coffee, and I'm sitting here and I'm hungry.
Right.
So I'm thinking, what can I send Beverly back to the kitchen here at Studio 95 to get for me while I'm interviewing you guys? Because I'm getting hungry. So what are your suggestions?
Well, it's, you know, each person is completely individualized and is personalized to each one. So when they come in and sit with Mackenzie and I, our job is we do a body composition test with them. And that determines what we like to call their engine, their muscularity, and that's their driving force. So every person, by design and what their body fat levels are, plug themselves in to what their needs are for protein, which depends on your lean mass. And then depending on their fit level, it intros into what foods are functional. And that's basically your fats and your carbohydrates, which we determine. You know, if they're behind the desk all day long, that tells a story. If they're extremely active and slowly making progress, everything tells a story.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
I was talking to a doctor, and I won't say who, but she said recently that vegetarians' bodies are not in very good shape. We were made for meat. Would you concur?
I'll have Mackenzie plug in on that one, because she'll give you some background on why that is not what the reason is for that.
Okay, Mackenzie, you want to broach that subject about are vegetarians? Are you a vegetarian?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I love meat.
Would you recommend being a vegetarian?
I mean, I think that comes down to personal preference. Some people do it for health reasons. Some people they think it's an avenue for weight loss. But
and some people just don't want to kill little beings like me. But if I had to kill them, I wouldn't eat them. You know.
I mean, it's all personal, whatever the person wants to do. But if you're going to restrict and cut out a whole food group such as meats, you just have to be careful of certain deficiencies like vitamin B12. So anytime you're going to restrict a certain food group or cut out or avoid certain foods, then you just have to be careful of deficiencies. But in the end, I mean, it really comes down to personal preference, and then making sure you're getting the balance of nutrients from other foods.
Mm-hmm.
I've known several vegetarians that are always sick.
Yeah.
And I always question them about it. And they said, well, it's because of, but one of the things you said that I really like, because I've talked to people, because I'm at an age where I start becoming more aware of how I take care of myself. But I talked to people in the past at a restaurant table, and they'll say, here's what you need to do, Chuck. You need to eat this, supplement yourself with that, get on the treadmill for a half hour, blah, 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 and you'll be fine. And my wife will come in, who has a completely different kind of job, and they'll say, you need to get on the treadmill for a half hour, eat that. And I've said, why isn't there someone, and it sounds like you are that someone, that would incorporate everything, my size, my work habit, what I do outside of work, et cetera, to where it's a customized fit to me. How can you give a 100-pound woman the same advice that you gave a 200-pound guy?
Yeah.
When one's sitting in a cubicle, the other is running around all day long physically. One has a sweet tooth, the other, there's all kinds of.
Do you take that all into account? Do you get like a test when people come in?
Well, like I said, it's really well. We find out their backgrounds. Of course, if there's health issues underlying, if there's medication and blood pressure issues or family lineage of certain things. But what we do is not cookie cutter by any means.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're saying is, it's almost
I think everything's food, cookie cutter,
I know you like that. I'm starting to get hungry again. But it's like looking at a map in a mall. It's like and say you are here.
Yeah.
So if it's an athlete, if it's working at the restaurant, even if you're here, doing a show, you have to actually centralize as, okay, here's my focal point here. Mm-hmm. It's like where your physicality is, and you expand from that point. Because it's like even with us, with Mackenzie and I training, because we do competitive things. We compete in bodybuilding and figure and fitness. Is our training times have to be centralized, and food has to be bookended around those, because that's best performance time. Then you expound or expand from that point, and you start to layer out the food. So it's extremely personal. And
don't people have different just inner systems that, I can eat things that my wife can't eat, and you would never know I ate it.
Well, my wife
can look at it and say, wow, I put on 2 pounds. I looked at the macaroni and cheese, or I looked at the, whatever.
Yeah, why that bothers me so much. You get people that can have,
but
big pieces of cake, they never get fat.
I feel like my workings, my inner workings, I feel like are in high gear all the time. I'm always, and I think that's why I'm one of those hand slingers, because I think that I'm really like always going at it. And I've talked to people and other people where they can just sit and be very relaxed.
So who was that famous guy that always was moving? Remember the guy, he died at like 98, he was 97, he wanted to live to be 100.
Jack LaLanne. Come on, really?
I grew up watching him on TV. That guy, he'd be sitting here like I'd be moving my feet here, but he would be doing that. He was always in a constant state of moving.
That's constant.
Is that valid? Should we all be doing that?
Well, if you can, but
we all look like a bunch of spazzes. Talking on our cell phones and jumping around.
Well, I'm one of those people too. I purposely park way outside of the parking area just so I can get some sort of exercise.
Yeah.
Although
what is it with fat people fighting for the parking spot right next to Sam's? Get out in the parking lot, walk, right?
Yeah.
Very good point.
Every little bit I would think helps.
So you're saying the parking spot should be designed by your weight?
No, but you have fat people parking in the back.
Mentally take everything into account.
You have to.
Of course, if Bernie Sanders wins the election, that'll be it. Yeah. You will park out there for the fat people. This is the state, and you will do it so you can lose weight.
So you can feel the burn.
Yeah. So fat people, you better not vote for Bernie. Anyway,
but no, it's true. It's it is extremely, I can say more and more, it's extremely personalized. We even tell people to submit menus to, give us an idea what food you like.
Really?
Because
without being ashamed.
Well,
You're supposed
ashamed
to-
or
Oh, you're my counselor. I'm really going to tell you.
well, again, if I'm
At
getting
3 o'clock every day.
Well, if you're going to
I
him for a
sneak bowl
reason,
of
you would
cereal.
want to. I mean,
Yeah,
you
you
want
should.
him to
Right.
evaluate everything that's going
Yeah.
on, I would think. I mean,
Honesty is.
and it's just some people may have a notion that they think for some reason certain foods are great for them and they're not.
Mhm.
And I can't tell you how many people you brought up eating nuts.
Yeah.
When I sit with somebody and I'll ask them, we talk to them, okay, give us your normal day's eating regimen.
Mm.
And they'll go down, I had nuts as a snack. And these are people that probably need to lose a minimum of 100 pounds.
Yeah, from the chocolate factory, chocolate covered almonds.
And, not
every day.
And not the one to say, look, you're fat, you can't have that, which is kind of it. Because if we have stuff to give, you can't be eating a surplus of it. Okay. And then that goes into anti-Atkins deal. But the reason why I was anti-Atkins was the anti-carbohydrate and my hypoglycemia I developed as a young guy.
See?
So
And I've also known people,
personally
when I
for
had
me.
Dr. Atkins on my show when he was alive, and I've seen many people, including my former engineer, guy lost 60 pounds on the Atkins, and then he gained back 84.
Well, like I tell people in brief, I tell these little stories when people come in to sit with us, is Atkins was uniquely genius for a reason where if you took another Red Palmer or another half of you and put on top of yourself, okay, or doubled you up,
Heaven forbid.
you have another Red Palmer to give up.
Wow.
So if you create a pathway where it's just fat to give, and you take carbohydrates out because they're both functional foods. Carbs are for very functional active things. Fats are there for long-term and for body survival. So if you took the carb element out, and your body wants to get rid of excess. You drink a lot of water, you'll urinate.
And the body wants to help.
Your body will give up about 2/3 of that extra red until it finds this in a problematic way and then start to shut off. So uniquely or ingeniously, it did work for people for the really obese. Because if you're walking around 450, you don't need to be 450 if you're 6 foot. You need to be like 220. So it makes inherent kind of weird sense. But then there was a stage 2, which he was developing, I think, or the reality part of it. But everybody needs to have even if you're the 500-pounder, everything still has to be identified.
The most important thing is that when I come over to Elite Physiques and I see you're always eating, and I noticed when I was losing weight was when I was making those choices all day long.
Right.
I mean, maybe you could write a book where it just shows you if you're going to eat, here's what you can eat. And you don't have to go hungry, in other words.
You don't have to at all.
I mean, when 20, 30 years ago, you had drink water 24 hours a day or whatever it was, and it just didn't work. So you can eat, you can be full, and you can lose weight, right?
And a lot of it is in knowing somebody's palate. And what Mackenzie's wonderful at, she creates these recipes which are phenomenal. And if you're on Instagram and check her out there, she comes up with these, you would salivate to see them.
Really?
But a lot of this, and maybe that's our next step, is to actually incorporate some really good menu plans or some designed.
Well, can I meet with you sometime? We'll do a recorded interview on that stuff.
Sure.
I'd love to learn. I want to learn the stuff.
Yeah, and it's not.
It's the gateway to freedom.
It's not difficult. It is to make the step to want to be helped.
Now let me ask you this.
But to make it normal, I would say in simplicity of being designed to your lifestyle, your work, and if it's.
Well, you've done. How many years you've been doing this?
25 years.
25 years. So you've really. I mean, you made some mistakes early on. You said when you were working just with yourself, and that's why you got into this. Now, Chris Kearney is the owner of on Ocean Drive Elite Physiques. Now, what are we allowed to say the guy like you've been working with?
I'm proud to say that Mackenzie and I, in regards to our nutrition, but the Ocean Drive or Elite Physiques now is Ocean Drive Elite Physiques. We've been fortunate to blend some ties and to unify our business with Dr. Alan Durkin of Ocean Drive Plastic Surgery. And it's just given us now a wide open, our next level going forward. And we can expand in capabilities of.
You can work with the patient.
With
patients have to lose a certain amount and show some discipline before they're allowed to be surgically.
So the fact that we can help them nutritionally on the beginning and before they have procedural things done. And physically, when they have things done as all the different alterations done to them on a physical sense, so we can go from soup to nuts, basically. Again, I'm using another food analogy. It's hard,
really soup to nuts. We're not cookie cutters. Like, man, this guy is making me hungry.
Food.
Let me ask you this: when you're working, like, we're allowed to talk about that tennis player that comes over there?
I think you wouldn't mind, sure.
Okay, well, his name
is Ivan Lendl. Sure.
Okay, this guy from Czechoslovakia originally. I mean, this guy's walked into world history. And you know what the great thing is? I don't care how much money you don't have and how much money you do have. You can't buy being a world-class champion.
No.
He worked for it. And when he's there, and he and I talk, and I see you two working together,
You see that sweat?
that guy sweats his proverbial butt off. I mean, he's just phenomenal. And now, because I've been over there, I'll go to a ball game and I'll see some guy like you said you wanted to be a pitcher when you work with, what's the name of
Alex Cobb.
Alex Cobb. And you see that guy and you realize this isn't lightweight. This is something they do 24 hours a day, constantly. When you don't see them in the glory moment on the ball field, how much practicing and practicing and practicing. They're even told during the game, you'll see a guy run around. You ever see that run around the ball field? He's told by the manager to do that. I mean, wow. It's to be a professional athlete.
It's passion. You have to have that passion for anything.
The work it must take. Whenever I get the desire to exercise, I sit down, I wait till it passes.
This too shall pass, right?
Okay, so I know we're about out of time for today. So if people want to get in touch with you, Chris Gurney over at Ocean Drive Elite Physiques, how do they do that?
Number 772-234-5403. You can visit us on Facebook, Ocean Drive Elite Physiques. Also, the links to our website, which is Ocean Drive Elite Physiques. Actually, I think it's Vero Beach Fitness, but you can access it from our website.
And if you see that
Facebook,
you see that svelte runner on the beach. That's that Dr. Mallon.
Dr. Mallon.
Dr. Mallon's been talking about you so highly for years and years. And Mackenzie, I hope you enjoyed your first visit to our studio.
I have. Thanks so much for having me.
And Mackenzie's a dietitian, so you want to come over and talk about what you should or shouldn't eat, check Elite Physiques out. So thanks for coming in today.
Thank you, Rhett. Appreciate it.
Okay, this is the mayor of the airways, you and I, in a series of getting and staying healthy together. We'll be right back. It's not over yet. So that's it.
Excellent.
For today. It's the beginning.
Chris, motivation, okay? And I would like to invent a mirror. So if somebody walks in, they're very obese, you put them in front of the mirror and it would show what they would look like when they lost weight. I have this thought.
That's a very good idea, and that would be great. Somebody's going to make a lot of money to sell to guys like you across the country. Because you came in and said, this would, I go, wow, I'm going to take that picture, I put that up on my mirror.
This is what you look like.
That's going to
Sometimes
drive
old
me.
pictures, you're like, you can't really tell, you're wearing something different, the angle's different, but if you had like a mirror that captured what you look like
before,
right now.
how you are now, and then an after what you could look like, you're going to gravitate towards that.
I think
Visualization.
Computer can do that, but to actually have the mirror go, okay, this is what you could look like.
I'm sure it could be done.
Of course it could be done. Are you kidding me?
Technically, somebody would be able to do it. But that's been a thought of mine. I look at some people and I go, was that? Yeah.
Okay, now that you've been on, this was live. So this is a throwaway show. We kind of jumped around a little bit. But when we do a recorded show, then it should be A, B, C, D, and make it more. So think about that. This gets you more comfortable with me.
Because we come up with topics to do, and I think nutrition is the big hit. Because everybody does the physical stuff. This is where we're different.
Yeah.
And like I said, with Dr. Durkin,
that's what I wanted to do. I go in there all the time. You're always eating. He's eating out of a bowl or something. This guy eats all the time.
What we do now is, if people want to be extremely monitored, you can go from blood work and do blood panels, and really, because a lot of people out there really have major issues beyond just weight. Yeah. So they're really
like what? I mean, like
different deficiencies. I mean,
well, you were hypoglycemic, you said.
Yeah.
No, I've had that twice in my life. That's where you feel all of a sudden flushed with heat, and you feel so weak, and you immediately have to take some orange juice or something, right?
It lingered for 2.5 months. What happened to me? Because I was eating a certain style, so I felt like I was drunk all the time. I used to have, I sweat. I mean, it was just I went through everything that was asymptomatic to that. I had it. And just because I was training and I just did it, I pushed myself through it, but I was a mess.
You guys have a.
We need your recipes. Rhett?
Yeah.
She's got to talk about her recipes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I was telling my wife.
I'm working on a recipe book to eventually incorporate in the future, but just like pancakes, for example, because people are like, oh, I can't have pancakes, but you can make them yourself with oats and eggs, and it has a lot of nutrition, fiber, and they have.
Get him over
that would be great.
I have one business card. I'm so sorry.
Recipe or two.
Yeah.
It's right next to the CVS. You know that building right next to CVS on the beach?
I'll give my number.
I like all my food tastes good, so.
Yeah.
What's that?
I like
My
all my
wife would
food
be
tastes good,
very
so I'm always
interested. My
being
wife's
creative in the
battled
kitchen.
lately.
It's fun.
Well, you know, I guess just come in and talk with us first, and
Very good. Wonderful.
And she's always gone on the different diets, and she's lost and gained and lost and gained. And she talked to me right before actually school started about
tell us about
almost
you go
exactly
text me.
like what you guys talk about, because she gets on a diet. She went on the before and after and lost 50 pounds
Yeah.
and felt good, and then put it back on
Yo-yo
and lost
dieting.
again on something else. And she did the Weight Watchers thing where they were mailing her stuff.
Guys, to step out here because I got to go finish up this segment.
But she had talked about something.
This is the mayor of the airwaves. Another beautiful day in paradise. How are you, ladies and gentlemen? An exciting day here, and hope you're doing fine wherever and whoever you are. You know, from time to time, I get people talking to me about certain things, and like my poetry, and I like, you know, well, I'll read you this one little poem. You may like it, you may not. Snoodle doodle, I saw a poodle. It was weird, looked like a noodle. I took that poodle and put it in a pot, but Mama yelled, "Take it off the stovetop. Don't cook that poodle in that old pot. It's too thick and it won't get hot. I have a modern pot, red, white, and blue. This modern pot will cook it through and through." Then Dad walked in, said, "What's all this?" Poodles are not to be cooked or served in a dish. Poodles are made to be companions, you see, not to be cooked with carrots, onions, and celery. Dogs are angels, a gift to men. Poodles were created to be our friend. Put away that poodle pot. Let foolishness cease. I'm going for a walk with my poodle on a leash. Anyway, for all you dog lovers out there. Okay. Oh, yes. There was an Epicuridian crew who found quite a large mouse in his stew. So the waiter don't shout and wave it about, or the rest will be wanting one, two. In walks Chuck Cannon. How you doing, Mr. Chuck Cannon? Another beautiful day in paradise.
Fine.
Good.
I wanted to get some information from your last guest. They're very interesting, I thought.
Yeah.
I'm always interested, and I guess maybe it's an age thing, but I'm always interested in keeping myself a little bit
Healthier.
better shape.
Well,
Healthier, yes.
you're the guy that literally lost. You went off of milk. Of course, you're unusually addicted to milk. You went off milk and lost 20 pounds.
And I didn't
in 1
do
month.
it for weight loss. I did it for cholesterol reasons, but it had the added effect of weight loss.
This is the mayor. We'll be right back after this break. Today's broadcast brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai and CJ Cannon's at the airport. Oh. Now you see, he took this water, opened it up, took one sip.
Yeah, it's
Now,
it's almost habitual water.
it is, and everybody will accept a you know. So what do? If I get the smaller bottles, they're almost, they might be as expensive as that one.
Yeah, they are. You're right.
So then why? And is there a way that I could? Do you have it? Can you get that cheaper than I can?
No, I'll tell you, the cheapest place I've seen is just at Sam's. You can get like $4 for 30.
Yes, sir.
Ken Countess is on the line.
Ken Countess. Subject?
Email marketing. He'll be doing a workshop tomorrow.
Oh, good. Yes. Yeah, I saw that advertised. Okay, learn down his name here. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ken Countess.
Yes.
Okay, we're in the news.
Yes.
Good morning, Ken. How are you? Good. Again, how do you spell your last name? Countess. Okay. And do you work for yourself or do you work for a certain company? Okay, a marketing firm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you're coming to town tomorrow for this this class, right? Yeah. Oh. Really? Okay. What? Okay. What's that site? Hold on. Email experts. Yep. .co. Okay. Okay, good. All right, we're going to go on in just a minute, so we'll be out of the news, and I'll talk to you then, all right? Okay. Would you do me this favor real quick? Whatever you're doing, stop. Go to emailexperts.com. He says the first 2 people that get there will get a ticket for free. It's like $100 or whatever. I want to go.
Email what?
Emailexperts.co, not com, but co. It says you press a red button or something. There's 2 buttons. I don't know which one. There's 2 buttons. Probably tell you. I'm not really good on the internet.
.co?
Yeah, .co, co. I'd like to get one of those tickets because I'd like to go. It's all about constant contact.
And what do you have to do here?
I don't know. Does it come up yet?
Yeah. Click to register for a seminar.
The one in Vero. There's one button for the thing in
Yeah,
Vero.
Vero Beach Email Marketing Academy.
Yeah.
Push that one.
Yeah. Now let's wait till we're on air.
You want me to fill your name out?
Yeah. Could you?
It says you got to pay with a credit card. $129.
He said the first one was going to be free.
Well,
Now, how did you get there? On Siri?
I just punched in on Google email, whatever it was you told me. Emailexperts.com.
Okay. Emailexperts.co.
You there?
Mm. Hello, this is Rhett. Yeah. Oh, you have to go where? You have to go where at 9:30? Oh, okay. No problem. No, don't postpone it. I'll see you at 11 because tomorrow I may go to a seminar all day on constant contact.
With great providers, convenient hours, great location, a staff that
Okay,
cares.
thank you. Don't just take your time.
85% patient satisfaction rate. Best part is Indian River Walking Clinic is moving to a brand new space.
See, I can't find it.
Just a few doors down from the
It says emailexperts.co. Did I put that in there?
They'll make you feel better now.
Today's broadcast sponsored by
Won't let me in. So how do you find stuff so quickly?
Just punched in what you told me. Email experts. Did you spell it right and everything?
Emailexperts.co.
Freshest and finest ingredients. Bake fresh. Never
Okay,
frozen.
during the show, you can say, hey, Ken, wait a couple minutes. Say, hey, I'm on there right now, but it says I have to pay $129. How do I get my free ticket?
Think of Just Desserts for holidays, weddings,
You're going to need your headset.
special events. Also available are gluten-free and sugar-free desserts. Just Desserts, VeroBeach.com. As the body's largest organ, skin is the great protector. Skin cancer is the most common of all cancers. Protect the health of your skin with regular exams by a board-certified dermatologist.
Specializing in the treatment of skin cancer, Treasure Coast Dermatology has offices in Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River counties, with their newest location in Vero Beach. Call toll-free 877-870.
Did you put expert?
Pardon me?
Did you put expert or experts with an S?
Email expert. Oh, I put experts.
Yeah, with an S.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I.
Okay. Face to face, one-on-one. Get the story and have some fun with Rhett Palmer. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the mayor of the airwaves. Today in my studio is my co-host. Of course, I have Mr. Chuck Cannon. Good morning, Mr. Chuck.
Good morning. How you doing? I'm great.
All right, now I know you're really into Facebook and you're into all the stuff that, everything. I mean,
To some degree.
so, do you think I'm more obsessed than you?
That I probably doubt that. I'm more into Facebook and
Okay.
stuff.
Well, we have Ken Countess on the line. And good morning, Ken Countess. How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing, Rhett?
Good. Another beautiful day in paradise. And he's going to be in town tomorrow for a special event. And he works, he has his own firm. What's the title of your firm, Ken?
It's a very original name, Rhett. It's the Countess Group.
The Countess Group. Okay.
Yeah. We have 6 people in our group. We're a marketing consultancy. While we're based in Orlando, we have clients around the world.
Wonderful. And, constant contact. It's amazing how things are changing because, we publish a magazine here monthly. And a few years back, everybody had to have a physical copy. We were printing out 14,000 copies every month, spending an enormous amount of money beyond what anybody could imagine to mail it out to the affluent homes in town. And of course, now about a third of our readership is the email. It's surprising me how many people sign up through verosvoice.com to get the email. Now, I believe at times we have used constant contact. Now, I personally have not used it. I don't know how to. And that's why I called Ken the other day, because he's going to be giving a seminar tomorrow. They were sold out, but they managed to put in a few more seats. Tell us about your seminar that's taking place here in Vero Beach tomorrow. I believe it's at the Marriott, right?
Yeah, it's at the Spring Hill Suites by Marriott, actually, on River Boulevard. And it's an all-day workshop. Runs from about 9 until 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
And the design of it is as you described, Rhett. People are so fixated these days on digital communication, meaning we check our email every single day. The data is that 91% of us check our email every day, and yet we only spend about 15 seconds per email. So you've got to get in and out of there pretty fast, unless what you send out and what shows up in somebody's inbox is engaging, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing at tomorrow's workshop is teaching people who know at least a little bit about email marketing, meaning they receive email, what it takes to get someone to open the email and click on a link so that the sender knows that some sort of an action has been taken. It's all about call to action. When you send a print publication out,
Mm-hmm.
it's glossy, it's really high quality stuff, and especially for something like Vero's Voice, which goes to an affluent community. What you don't know, you may know that it got into their mailbox, but what you don't know is what they did with it.
Yeah, well, you do know if they unsubscribe from you, that they don't want it.
Well, that's true.
And you legally.
With email, what you know is not only whether people are signing up for your list or unsubscribing from your list, but also for the content in the email, for instance, whether they are going to click on an article to read more or click on an ad to go to the advertiser's website. You have all that data, person by person.
Niche.
Exactly what they do.
Yeah, it's amazing, this niche marketing stuff. Now, I want to know about Constant Contact. Do I have to supply my own email addresses, or can you pay Constant Contact to give me the affluent email addresses of folks that live in our vicinity?
So you have to use your own email address.
How do you get those?
And the email marketing.
How do you get those emails? Where can I buy those, or how do I cultivate an email list?
Well, you can buy a list. We don't recommend that for lots of reasons, which I can get into. But the way you develop a list, I mean, many of us who have been in business for any length of time, or if we just simply know people, those are people that we communicate with on a regular basis, and more than likely they would very much welcome being on your newsletter list if you're providing information that is of value to them. So that's where you start. Then if you're, for instance, active on LinkedIn, or you were talking a few moments ago about Facebook, there are tools that you can use that if someone likes what they see on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn page, and so on, they can actually automatically opt into a newsletter list. So you can grow your list organically without having to buy a list. But here's the problem with buying a list. You have no idea how many other businesses that list has been sold to. The people who say they opted into that list, they opted into that business one way or another. They didn't opt into you and your list. The other thing to know is that 30% of email addresses go bad every year.
30%.
That sounds awfully high.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about people moving in and out of neighborhoods, changing jobs, retiring, doing something different with their lives, going, for example, from maybe they had an AOL.com email address and then they move over to Gmail, for instance. So there are lots of reasons why that happens. And using tools like Constant Contact, you can keep people updated. They can keep you up to date. If they have changed their email address, they can let you know when you just put a link in your email saying that you're changing your address. Click here.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let's say, so I got 100 people last year, and I pay Constant Contact to send out 100 emails. Now, we know that 33 of those people have disappeared due to death, due to residential changes, or they just want to change their email address in a year. Okay, so do I pay Constant Contact for 100 emails and then I'm wasting 30%? Or do they just get paid to send out 1 billion? Is it the same price for 1 billion as it is for 1,000, or how does that work?
No, it's actually tiered based on the number of email addresses. So in that example, if you have 500 email addresses or less, it's $20 a month. It's really inexpensive.
Wow.
When you get to 501 up to 2,500, then it's $35 a month, and there are no contracts. So let's say, for instance, you're at 105 email addresses, right? And so you're paying $20. Let's say then that you get to 530 email addresses, then you're at $35 a month. And then let's say you find out that 50 of those email addresses go bad. Remove them from your account and you drop back down to the other tier.
Oh, they made it pretty easy. It's all changing. Yeah, it's all changing. So now, who are you, Ken Countess? I mean, how did you cultivate an ability in this area, and when did this all start for you?
Well, my background is in corporate America. I worked for some pretty well-known companies. I spent over 20 years at Motorola. You've probably heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
When I was there were 150,000 people there, and I was a marketing guy for them. Then I went to Marriott, and I worked also for a company that's now owned by CBS. And in 2001, I decided to do some consulting because the market had changed, and I decided to take a hiatus or sabbatical from corporate America and started consulting. And then off and on over a few-year period, I went back to work for a few companies and just found that I really enjoyed consulting. In 2008, I became a partner in a marketing company in Dallas. And about email marketing myself as a customer of Constant Contact. And I also know the other ones, MailChimp, SwiftPage, and iResponse, and so on. But Constant Contact recruited me to start doing seminars for them in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been at this now for about 5 years on their behalf, and they told me I'm one of their most successful people. So that's all nice.
So are you
I do
between
about 100, between 100 and 120 seminars a year.
Oh my!
In Vero Beach tomorrow and Boca Raton on Thursday.
So this is what you're doing. This is all you're doing. I mean, you wouldn't be for hire for a guy like me to consult at this point, or?
I would totally be for hire.
Oh, you would?
Consult.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, the seminars are places where people get to know who I am and what we do. We get a chance to meet face to face and cultivate a relationship. And oftentimes what happens is someone like yourself might come to one of these sessions, and typically what happens, Rhett, is someone will say, I learned about marketing or email marketing or social media or whatever the subject is. There are 31 different classes that we do. Email comprises part of that curriculum. And then a week, a month, a year later, someone may call back and say, I learned a lot of your session. I need your help. And so, yeah, we are for hire as well as marketing.
You know what I'm surprised they don't do? Like somebody, like for instance, this is just an idea, and I hope you don't mind me broaching this, but if I had Constant Contact, it was my company, I would say, hey, Ken, let's set this up. It's $129 for the event tomorrow?
It is.
Okay, so let's say you say, okay, you can pay $129, or you can commit contractually to spend $300 over the next year with Constant Contact. And then you can come to the seminar as part of it. That way, and plus, once you get me involved, as a ticket buyer, once you become that person involved and you've used $300, you're probably going to stay with Constant Contact forever. Now, for those that want to use MailChimp or competition, then they have to pay the $129. But if they're willing to commit, what do you think about that idea?
I think you should be my marketing guy.
Let's work together, huh? But I think that would be, yeah, because I think it might. Well, we'll talk about that. Listen, now for some of my listeners today, you were sold out tomorrow. We have a couple of openings that we've squeezed in some extra seats, and we're going to give away 2 tickets too. And how do my listeners get a ticket to your event tomorrow at 9 a.m. at the local Marriott?
Okay, they go to this website. It's emailexperts.co. So emailexperts, plural.
Okay.
.co.com.
Mm-hmm.
And when they land on that homepage, I've actually got 2 red buttons on there. One that says March 29th, Vero Beach Email Marketing Academy.
Now you're there, Chuck?
I'm
Okay.
right with him right now.
You're right with them right now. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And actually, there's one just below, a button just below for March 31, Thursday, where we'll be doing the same workshop in Boca Raton. So there are 2 red buttons. You click one of those 2.
Okay.
For the folks listening in Vero, the red button on the top. And for the first 2 people who say, you know what, this makes a lot of sense to me. I need to know how to do email marketing. I'm not sure I'm getting the results I should. By the way, let me just say, the typical return on investment for an email marketing campaign is $44 to every dollar you spend.
Wow. Extraordinary.
My stocks would do that.
Now listen, we're there right now because I want to cop one of those tickets. So I want to. Chuck, did you get on there?
I'll tell you what, Rhett, I'll have you come in as my guest,
Okay.
regardless.
All right.
This way we can allow the listeners who are listening live to have 2
Cool.
tickets free. And the promo code, when you get to the page, is
Yeah.
radio.
Radio.
The first 2 tickets will be free if you use promo code radio. And if you're not one of the first 2, you can use promo code email, and you'll be able to attend for half off. As Rhett mentioned, it's $129 to attend, so we'll give 2 free, and we'll give 2
Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And it's going to be at the course at the, I look forward to meeting you because this is obviously the future is here. And
Yeah, it's what's so amazing about all this, Rhett, is email's been around forever. I mean, it really has. It's been since we started using email in the 80s, 1980s. And, we're enamored. We hear every day about Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and so on. And yet, there's nothing that generates the return on investment for a business the way email does. So much so that it's undergoing quite a renaissance now where all the big name retailers have gone back to using email.
yeah.
I've got 3 sons. One of them came with me to a store not long ago, and we were at the checkout, and the person handling the transaction said to me, "Sir, would you like your receipt emailed to you?" And I said, "Sure." My son said, "Dad, that's so cool. They want to save paper." I said, "That's not why they want my email address. They want it so they can market."
Yeah.
And they do, and they do a great job of it.
Like,
And so as small business owners, we have that same privilege. We have the opportunity to do the things that all the big organizations do at a fraction of the cost.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, Chuck is in here. Chuck has a restaurant. It's been 32 years in business. It's called CJ Cannon's out at the airport. And they're also a sponsor of my show for 22 years, and I thank you for that. But he's also become a friend. Now, what Chuck could do with Constant Contact is you could say for anybody that responds to this email tonight, you can have the meatloaf for 25% off, and you have delicious meatloaf, by the way. It's good meatloaf. So and you could cultivate. But how? Now I got an idea. So how he could cultivate that email list? Chuck's thinking, well, what you could do is have a contest at the store for anybody who wants to win 2 free meatloaf dinners, let's say. Now, everybody that signs up for that and gives their email address wants meatloaf, but you're only going to give away 2 meals, and now you've cultivated 127 email addresses of people who love meatloaf. Is that how you would do it, Ken?
Yeah, that's one of the ways. The other way is you might have just a fishbowl sitting at the register as people check out.
Yeah.
Card in the bowl, and we'll pull one of these cards to get a free meal once a month. We'll pull a card, and the lucky winner gets a free meal. But everybody winds up going on the email list.
Yeah.
Right? And you have a little sign there that says, by dropping your card in the bowl, you're agreeing to receive our newsletter. And don't worry, if you don't like the newsletter, you cannot subscribe.
Right.
Restaurants are among the types of businesses that really love email. In fact, one of the things I'll cover in the workshop tomorrow is when the best time to send an email is, so people open it, and what the optimum number of items in an email is for people to click on, because there are best practices. That's what this workshop is going to talk about and teach our attendees.
Well, I'm very excited about this. Okay, again, your email address in case somebody listening wants to get either 2 free tickets. If those are given away by the time you get there, you can have the tickets for half price. First of all, when you log on to emailexperts.com, right?
.co.
.co. Aha! It's emailexperts.co. And you can put in radio to get the 2 free tickets. If those are given away, there you can get 2 tickets half price. And how did they do that? By saying what? Email?
The promo code on that one is email.
Okay.
And if all 4 tickets are gone, you could pay full price. That's okay too.
Yeah.
But we like to have fun in the workshops. We're not all buttoned up and formal. It's everybody's coming to learn and share stories. And I can't tell you how many times we have people that come to these workshops, and it's a networking opportunity too. You never know where your next customer is going to be. They may be sitting right next to you.
It's all very exciting because, and you can say, I want to reach men that smoke cigars that are between the ages of 50 and 80, and there are millionaire status. And in today's world, you can get that niche. I mean, the good thing is, the thing is now you can't fool people, and the good thing is now you can't fool people. I posted something the other day, and I have 4,000 hits on Facebook of something that I posted 4 days ago. Now that's pretty impressive to a potential advertiser, right? So, all right, listen, we got.
And you can segment your list any way you like.
All right. Okay, Ken, we're out of time for today. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much for coming on our broadcast, Mr. Ken Countess.
Thank you, Rhett. It's a pleasure chatting with you, and I hope to meet you in person tomorrow.
Okay. We're gonna take a break. We'll be right back.
Nothing like driving a fresh, clean car. Odyssey Car Wash, located.
Now listen, I just got an idea. Like for me, if you would let me, of course, I'm thinking it's very well. But pay for a big professional sign. It's out there on your bar, right? And I say, would you like to win a full $2,000 full page ad of Vera's Voice magazine? You get a little fishbowl, throw in your business card. But everybody that did that wants it. So if they want, now you only give away one. Now I got this thing, and every month you can send them out a constant contact saying, the new, you can get $200 off an ad, any ad that's a half page or more, for Vera's Voice magazine or something.
Yeah, we've done the fishbowl thing many a time.
Did it work?
Oh,
yeah.
We get a lot of business lunches out there. They'll come by.
That's a great idea. Put your company email in there, and we will give away, or we'll give a discount on a party, a luncheon party or something in the summer. Yeah, that would be very good for you because you could pick, okay, where's your lull? Okay, where's your lull? You say, well, in July it sucks around here, or right after they leave. There's usually a lull right after Easter, right? It's going to come in the next few days. It'll start, and we'll crash. So then you can say, have your business party here in May, or whatever month you pick, and then what you've done is you've driven business and filled those back rooms at a time when they may not be sold out. And you like those because I presume your profit's good on those things, right?
Some of them, yeah.
So how are you? You seem a little off it today.
No, we've just had a lot of, no,
tired or
no, but we've had a lot of people talking. I'm listening to them.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about the guys that were in here earlier.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. My wife and I talked about that kind of program.
Yeah.
More so than just a diet or go run on a
the whole
treadmill.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting near that age. You want to live longer? I mean, like somebody said, there was a lady on TV last night. She's 82 years of age. She plays volleyball out in California. She said, if you get old and you sit down, you're done.
I agree with that. But my wife has been on several different diets, and she'll lose weight and then put it on, and lose weight and put it on. And we just got done talking about the fact. So I wish there was like a personal trainer that could get me on don't just stick me on a treadmill to get me to do, because she can't just go. You went every day at lunch or something like that. She can't get out of school and just go do. She has to be more customized.
Yeah, it's that personal. Look what happened with me and Lori.
And it's,
I never could do it with her because she was right there.
Right.
And there was accountability.
You have somebody with as a support.
Yeah, and it's accountability. She's gonna say, "What did you do yesterday?"
Oh, and the fact that it involves a doctor and it involves a nutritionist, I like all that.
I got hit the mental. Okay, I'll be right back.
Online at CompleteElectricInc.com. Complete Electric and Alarms, Florida's premier alarm service.
Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Yes, I did. Did you? Uh-oh. No. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Correct. Sure. I'm not at the restaurant, but I can maybe give it to you. I don't know what is it that you need to know exactly. Oh. Right. Okay, I'll have to get back to you with that to know exactly. Okay. Okay. right. Yep. Okay. No problem. All right. Okay. Bye.
Mr. Danny House, president of East Coast Tax and Financial Planning, hosts the Financial Pulse every Thursday, 10:30 a.m. to 11 o'clock right here, 107.9 on your FM dial, 1370 on your AM dial. The Financial Pulse, Thursdays, 10:30 a.m.
Hey, you're listening to the Ask the Hair Guy Minute, and thanks for tuning in. Please catch our article at Hero's Voice magazine. You can always get a copy of that from the newsstand in front of March the Point Salon Boutique at 46 Royal Palm Point. We always have them out there. We've always got them inside our store too. So feel free, come on in, grab a copy, and read my article. AskTheHairGuy.com is our email address, and we rely on your questions. Really, without it, I have a blank page. Like I said, Mr. Palmer doesn't like that. Today's question comes from Anonymous. Asks about hair color. What is the difference between permanent hair color, semi-permanent color, and demi-permanent color? Which one do I need? How do I know? Okay, pretty simple question, pretty straightforward. First of all, I want to wish everybody happy holidays out there. I know we're coming up on a whole bunch of them. March the Point Salon Boutique, we're a proud local business. So come on in and visit us. When it comes to hair color, permanent hair color simply indicates the actions or reactions going on chemically. I actually hate the term permanent hair color because, as we know, it does wash out. But the actual indication there is that it opens the hair shaft, it removes natural pigment, and then deposits artificial pigment. So permanent hair color really is doing three separate actions. Semi-permanent color is the quite polar opposite. It doesn't remove anything. It doesn't disturb your natural pigment. It simply drops in artificial pigments on top of the hair. So it's great for darkening or toning or things of that nature. And then demi-permanent color is right in the center. It may open the hair shaft a tiny bit. It may disturb your natural color a tiny bit, or maybe clean it out a little bit so that we can tone it down real nice. But truth be told, all of them, semi, demi, and permanent, depending on how they are used or how the hair is prepared or even the condition of the hair, can be somewhat permanent for artificial color. So, the terminology really indicates more what it's doing and not so much how long it lasts. I hope you found that helpful. Please feel free to come on in to 46 Royal Palm Point, March at the Point Salon Boutique. We'd be happy to do a consult for you, absolutely free. Come on in, meet us, talk to us. We've got the greatest team in town. I know this because I picked them myself, and I train most of them too. So we'd love to have you in. Give us a holler, 772-492-8900. That's 772-492-8900. And of course, log on to AskTheHairGuy.com and send your questions and keep those questions coming. And again, happy holidays on behalf of March the Point Salon Boutique and me, the hair guy. Thanks for tuning in.
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Center for Advanced Eye Care. 5 eye doctors that genuinely care about your eye care. Dr. Brannigan, Dr. Kadada, Dr. Schnell, Dr. Katz, Dr. Mallon. Center for Advanced Eye Care. Do you want advanced eye care? I do, and I want the best for you too. Center for Advanced Eye Care. MrJustThinking.com, spreading epiphanies. I look at history and I wonder what has caused more change in human history than anything else.
You all right?
The one thing that I see that causes more change is food. When I look at history and civilizations, civilizations remain strong as long as there was enough food to feed that civilization. When the food was gone, the people were gone. MrJustThinking.com, spreading epiphanies.
Oh. What's up, Chuck? Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
All right.
Good.
So, how you feeling about things?
We have enough time. No, I'm just rehashing some of the conversations we had with everybody today, and thinking about the email marketing that you were just interviewing the guy from
Constant.
Constant.
Well, he's not with Constant Contact, but he represents, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just thinking about the different ways we advertise now. It used to be just your bread and butter. You went in the local paper, you went in the local radio show, you went in the local whatever, and that was your advertising. I mean, I remember doing basically the same things every year. And now it's so different, and it takes a lot of thought, because you can really miss out on a lot of potentially inexpensive ways to reach people.
Sweet Kiss right over here, the gelato place. Have you been there yet?
I have not.
Okay, well, I'd like to take you and your wife there sometime. Right. But it is really good gelato. So anyway, they came on a while back. They were on the radio, I don't know, for a couple of months, and they were on Facebook. Right. We also put them in the magazine. Mm-hmm. But they said from the Facebook and the radio was about 50-50. Right. The response. Mm-hmm. So now we've got companies that are paying us for our posts on Facebook and Instagram, et cetera, got about 9,000 followers, and everything is just changing. It's
9,000 followers is worth something to somebody who wants to have 9,000 followers hear their message. You know what I mean? And
it's amazing.
I was listening to I'm not going to remember. It was Kevin Hart, who's a comedian.
The comedian guy, yeah.
He has
a little too blue for me, but go ahead.
Yeah, he's different type of humor, but he was talking about his Twitter, Facebook accounts, and he has something like 3 million followers, and because of that, it's now created almost he has employees to manage those followers. And he was talking about having conversations with some of the movie producers for his movies. And they said, well, put out on your Twitter and your Facebook, since you have 3 million followers, put out there that the movie comes out March 17th and it starts here and it stars you and this gets some. And he goes, well, what are you going to pay me to do that? And they said, well, it's just your followers. Just go ahead and tell them you're in the movie. And he goes, well, me being in the movie is one business. Me using my Twitter and my follower accounts is another
totally
business.
Get it now.
I do too, and I didn't
initially. I was like,
well,
"Oh, that's kind of cocky." Well, I mean, you're my producer, and you're giving me $10 million for the movie. Hey, to heck with you. But no.
And they said, "Well, it's your movie, Kevin. Don't you want to promote your movie?" And he goes, "Well, that's your job, is to promote the movie. But if you want to use my followers to help promote the movie, then there's a value to that." And he said, "If I wanted to go to you and said, listen, MGM or Paramount or whoever produced this movie, I want to use your followers to promote my comedy show," they would say, "Okay, well, that's worth $200,000 then.
Yeah.
So it does go both ways. And the reason I'm even bringing that up is I was just sitting there thinking about how different the power different businesses have to do different things. And here's an email.
So in my business, some people think you're a billionaire. I had the American Red Cross local. I put them on the air for 18 years. I did the national jingle, which went national for 10 years. The coming home for the holiday thing. Okay, so all of a sudden, some old guy dies on the beach and leaves him a few $100,000, and they put ads everywhere except with moi.
There's no loyalty.
Well, it first of all hurts your feelings if they didn't choose you. Then you go, well, does they think I'm a billionaire? That I can. Now, if I was a billionaire, that'd be one thing. Well, I had to buy Rhett. Somebody's got, I got rent to pay, mortgages. I got employees.
In business, there is loyalty that goes both ways.
Yeah, and then you got doctors who say, well, I wanted exclusivity. Well, do you mean I've got to turn that down? Well, then shouldn't you have to pay a greater price for that exclusivity? And whether you go on a regular music radio station, I'm sort of my dirty laundry in public, but what the heck? It's honest anyway. So they go to a music station, they can play your competition.
Right.
Let's say, what would you say if there was a specialty about CJ Cannon's? Okay, let's say another restaurant opens up at the airport. You've been with me 22 years.
Right.
Well, you've got the loyalty. And I can understand that. And you've earned that loyalty.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, no, sorry, Chuck, unless you gave me permission. Now, they were selling something, they were selling pizza doodles and said, look, it's no competition for us. Those are just people are eating those while they're waiting to get on their plane or something. Okay, cool. But I would ask permission. But to just presume that in other categories, you haven't earned that privilege.
Yeah, it's a give and take. And I understand different reasons people do different things. I mean, everybody's in business to make money.
But they don't expect that. Now, on music radio, you could put that new, let's say it's in a restaurant that does sell meatloaf, like you sell meatloaf. Well, they'll put your competition right next to you. Nobody says anything.
Right.
You go in the press journal, you'll see. I don't know why that happens. That's kind of weird, though, that they put the competition, it seems like on purpose. Have you ever had that happen over there?
Well, they have like a dining guide. So a lot of times you just get your name published in your ad.
So you could be next to
Yeah, you could be next to
But
and that's expected in different things. But, there is a loyalty in business that goes both ways, and you show loyalty towards people.
Well, let's say you're an orthopedic surgeon. You have an ad in the paper, and they put another orthopedic surgeon right next to you.
Right.
It's like, what are you doing?
Right.
Or now music radio in the same hour you might get two orthopedic surgeons. They expect, we have exclusivity, and then all of a sudden they decide to take a hiatus 15 years later, and you go, oh, I turned down that other company, and now you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
That's,
everything's changing. And then you got Facebook. It's very complex.
Yeah, and there's certain things now you can do for free and reach a lot of people, and then there's certain people that you can pay to help you reach even more people.
Debbie Maycomb has 2 full-time people.
Yeah.
I
understand it now, or I understand it more.
Like that guy with the movie. I remember when you first told me that story a few months ago. I was thinking, yeah, what a creepy guy.
Yeah.
He's getting paid millions of dollars to be in the movies. Now you get it, and I get it too now.
Right.
Because look at that Kardashian gal. She has, 30 million followers, something like that.
Right.
Literally, somebody said, watch what she does. Now, I've never watched the Kardashians myself, but I am friends with her on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram, excuse me. I wanted to know what she was up to. So they'll give her $30,000 for one post, but watch that post. In 8 hours, she's had 17,000 likes.
Right. Or what will happen with somebody like a Kardashian who has even more followers than Kevin Hart will be somebody like Gucci Sunglasses will say, can you wear these sunglasses on your Twitter? Tell them they're your new Gucci's and send it out. And we will not only give you the sunglasses, but we'll pay you $10,000 to do that. Okay, well, all she now is doing is taking a check, putting on sunglasses, going on her computer and saying, my new Gucci glasses. And what is that worth to Gucci? It's for how many followers?
But you know what? If I'm a follower of hers, look, for instance, I saw a book under Obama's arm coming off a jet recently. And I said, I got to find what book that is. I want that book. If I saw Bob Dylan with, and this is his top 5 books that he's reading right now, man, I'm going to buy those top 5 books.
Now, one of the things
it works.
Oh, sure it does. One of the things that I heard that they're not there yet, but what they will be doing as soon as I guess has to go through FCC and Better Business and all that, was to that cable and satellite dish and computer streaming of TV shows. They can now look or get an idea of public email of what you purchase or what you watch, and broadcast commercials that you would be interested in more so than just a master. Okay,
Yeah,
so
wild.
Rhett Palmer and Barb are watching TV, and they are two single adults, 50 years or older.
Yeah.
You're not going to want, who cares about baby diaper commercials, or who cares about preschool commercials, and vice versa. The mother, they're the
But
mother and
retirement
father.
funds or lower
Exactly,
insurance.
yeah, or restaurants, or you know,
Vacation.
and then the new family with the new kids, they don't care about, probably not caring about vacations and retire. They're looking more at baby formulas and diapers or preschool, you know, whatever. And I thought, what an interesting way, because I zone out on commercials. But sometimes there are commercials on that do catch my interest because they appeal to me, my age group, or my.
So in other words,
lifestyle.
niche marketing.
That's all it is.
So let me ask you this. So in this day and age, am I really, sometimes I wonder if I'm a fossil in that maybe I should just end all this, have a travel show, and then if I cultivate enough of a following, on rated, whatever, then all those people that want to sell vacations were going to advertise with me. Whereas now, you know, but in this little town, you still sit next to people at a restaurant. I told that story recently, and this older couple, they own Groves, Orange Groves, says, "Oh, we listen to you every day." Oh, thank you.
But you
Sometimes,
are a niche.
Well, let me ask you that. I'll say in a minute. But so at the end of the meal, then I go, "Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you." You know, and I say, "Now, do you really listen every?" I just want to ask you, if you don't mind. Do you really listen? Oh, yes, we listen every day. I said, why? I said, why everybody listen? I said, why? They don't know who you're going to, we don't know who you're going to have next or what you're going to say next.
Right.
Okay, so you go, okay, so you're saying that is a niche into itself. The wackiness of the variety. I mean, we'll have the governor on one day and then we'll have
I think your niche is local. I think your niche is that you're local.
Yeah.
And when I say local, I mean local
Vero Beach.
and mostly Vero Beach, but Florida, you know.
Yeah.
So if I'm listening for a show that's going to tell me what's going in the mall next, or what restaurants I would recommend to eat at, or what movies I go to see.
Like that couple that listens though in Connecticut. Well, what does that have to do? What did they do? They came down immediately and wanted to go to where? CJ Cannon's. So they heard the ads up there. They know that I liked it, and they said, "We'd love to meet you. When are you going to be at CJ Cannon's?" That's a true story, is it not?
That is a true story.
Now, they've come down more than once now. So that's kind of strange. So really, so the Chamber of Commerce should really be putting some money in my back pocket because I'm bringing people to Vero.
Well, then you go back to the amount of listeners and your amount of subscribers and your amount of I don't know what other followers you have, Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
What value is that to other people? And to me, and again, you're talking to somebody that is not an expert in this field, but could you put a package together and say, look, I have 10,000 Twitter followers, I have 5,000 Facebook followers, I have a radio show and a magazine. What kind of package can we put together to market your business? See, that would be a more powerful presentation to me than say, do you want to buy an ad in my magazine?
Yes,
yes or no. But if you said, your ad is now going to reach 9,000 Twitter, 5,000 Facebook, because I'm going to do
Vero's Voice
this.
magazine,
Vero's
20-some thousand readers monthly, the radio show.
That would be
a combo.
That would be a powerful tool to me because we're all used to bundling. You're now bundling.
Can I hire you as my new marketing guy?
I just thought of that. I don't know. I don't know if I have anything else left. That was my one idea today.
That's a good idea.
But I mean, aren't we all used to bundling? I mean, and that becomes a marketing tool in itself. Just the word bundle. Bundle your advertising.
Yeah.
You're gonna have
bundle.
You're gonna have radio, print, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and whatever else. I don't know what else.
Okay, now we were in your, let's take it to you. We're in your restaurant recently. And I remember there's a little thing, the specials of the night. And you said, if you put a special up there, that will sell super. Now, if it's so popular, it's a meatloaf with special mashed potatoes or something. And so all of a sudden, because you're on that little special list, it sells like hotcakes. You can take that same thing, then put it on the menu, and you said sales will go down.
Well, I think the word special makes it different. But now that we're talking about it, that would be interesting to do with your menu. To come in and say, here's your steak. Now, if you want to bundle it with potatoes and vegetable, it'll be this. And if you want to do a super bundle with a salad and bread,
I see. That's a great. So
I don't know.
Do you just want your steak?
I'm thinking out loud now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because what's the obligation of having potatoes and vegetables? Maybe you don't want them.
Maybe you don't want them.
I mean, some of these connoisseurs will go to a steakhouse, they just get a steak.
Yeah.
Might get a steak and a salad.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Do you want to
Bundle
bundle it?
Well, the word bundling always fascinates me because I do that. I do it even in insurance. My
Why
car
don't you come up
insurance.
with a new menu? It's a great idea.
My car insurance came up and she said, your car insurance due and blah blah blah. She goes, now if you wanted to continue to add your homeowners and then you wanted to add your umbrella policy, we can bundle all that. As soon as she said the word bundle, I'm thinking instantly savings, and it was a savings, but. I think AT&T, or maybe not AT&T, but the cell phone business created this word bundling now because now they include streaming and TV, and now they also include home security systems, and your cell phone is just one of the bundled items.
Yeah.
And when you get that bill, I constantly look at that and think, wow, I wonder if there's anything else I can bundle in this. Are you like that? I mean, that word catches me.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's like, okay, so.
But you're in a position where you have several different outlets for advertising, and I would think that if you came up with maybe a menu of how to bundle that would be very powerful to me as an advertiser. If you came and said it's going to be this much, and look at what we're going to do: print, radio, media, social media. Web, maybe even email. Maybe you could even be one of the ones that send out email. Vero's Voice. Maybe it could just be an email that says Vero's Voice magazine endorses, or maybe ADET. That could be part of your advertising. CJ Cannon's was part of Rhett Palmer's dining experience.
Do you read your email every morning?
I access it every morning. Yes, I access it several times a day.
So in other words, the night before, you could say, okay, Governor Scott's going to be on the show. Now, instead of just promoting it on radio, maybe you're not listening to the radio on a Sunday. Well, you could send out an email saying Governor Scott's going to the show. I bet it would increase our listenership the next day. Oh, the political freaks are all going to want to listen.
Yes. And sometimes the email, because it's headlined with the title of what the email is about, a lot of times I'll just read that and then delete the email because it may not interest me, or it may be a reminder.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes I will open the email if I go to PetSmart or something, they're bundling stuff for me. The word bundle will make me open their email.
I like the bundle.
Yeah, but I mean, you could do that, and I think it would be very powerful.
It's amazing. Well, anyway,
and you could even throw in, you underestimate yourself. You could even throw in the fact that I can even create a jingle for your business. That'll cost an extra $500. It doesn't seem to be a lot of work to you. To me, it sounds like a lot. You sit there and write jingles for people on the spot.
So let's see. We could come up with let's see. I know it may not be fashion. Get your meatloaf at CJ Cannon's. Well, you save a lot of cash, cooks on sale today. Mashed potatoes and peas, I say. Anyway. See, we could have a jingle. We could have a jingle for every.
No, but there are people that
those ribs that fall off the bone.
There are people who do a lot of searches just to have somebody do that for them, and here's a guy that can sit in one office and do it all. I mean, and you're talking about wanting to be bigger, and I mean, you got a powerful tool there.
I'm getting bigger. Too many
eggs
Benedict at CJ Cannon's.
All right, well.
Have you thought about, now after having that conversation with those health people today? Yeah. Have you considered maybe having a menu that was for people?
We talk about that, and I've had that, and you're more than capable of doing that on a menu.
But it used to be the kiss of death when you open up a healthier and all natural
everybody,
restaurant.
I always joked around. It's the most requested thing, but the least ordered. Usually, people are out to eat and they want to forget about that. But for the people who don't forget about that, there's plenty of ways to go on, at least our menu. I mean, you can get plain, unseasoned chicken breasts, fish, salads. We have fresh fruits. We have fresh berries.
You have to say plain, unseasoned.
Well, when I say that, it's because a lot of people...
No sauces.
Well, a lot of people don't want seasoning. A lot of people are in a heart-healthy type menu.
You serve my chicken without the sauce. I mean, where's the sauce, boss?
But it's very good. You can get a baked potato, you can get baked sweet potatoes and fresh vegetables. You can get fresh asparagus, a chicken breast, and
you have a
potato.
sandwich, isn't it? Like asparagus and portobello mushroom?
Yeah.
That's your invention,
But
right?
I'm saying, but I'm saying you can do that without needing a special section. Now, when you go to a chain, they may not be able to do that because a lot of their things are prepared to serve just like the menu.
We don't promote chains here. We promote local.
Yes.
CJ Cannon's, a restaurant with a beautiful panoramic view of Vero's Municipal Airport Strip for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. CJ Cannon's. Today's broadcast also brought to you by Center for Advanced Eye Care. 5 eye doctors that genuinely care about your eye care. I promise you, Center for Advanced Eye Care. This is the mayor of the airwaves.
Here to go meet the Yankee, what's his name? The Yankee Clipper? Ralph Carter, the Yankee woodworker?
Oh, yeah, Ralph Carter, the Yankee woodworker.
Yeah,
He's very
I
good.
always say Yankee. I've used him a lot. In fact, he just finished something at my house a couple weeks ago, and he's in the middle of doing a custom cabinet for my kitchen right now.
He's as honest as the day is
Oh,
long.
he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I've done